Outside the Box Reviews, we're taking a look at the NECA Predator Wave 16 Kenner Tribute Stalker Predator. Not to be confused with the Wave 5 Stalker Predator, which was from the Lost Tribe from Predator 2. This is a Kenner Tribute and has absolutely nothing to do with that other Predator. It is kind of weird that we're using the same names for Predators already. But this is the figure from the line that seems obligatory every time NECA does a Kenner Tribute line where we get something in either translucent or glow-in-the-dark plastic or something like that. And usually the glow-in-the-dark thing isn't particularly appealing to me, but I'll say right up front, I really like the look of this Predator. The glow-in-the-dark doesn't seem as gimmicky, the color actually kind of works for the flesh tones on this Predator, and they also make up for it in other ways that just make this an overall cool figure. So let's take a closer look. This figure comes with 3 different spears, which I guess is a tribute to the weapons it came with back in the Kenner line. We get one combi spear that's fully extended. We've seen this sculpt many times as the AVP style combi spear. It's a nice kind of copper color here on the ends of it with a black middle section here. The other 2 spears are the same exact thing and they're just retracted versions of that extended one we saw. On Stalker's back armor we have 2 little clips here where we can actually put these retracted combi spears. I guess you could put the extended one, but it may have some issues. But they will clamp right there on his back for easy storage while he's on the hunt. The other accessory is one I'm very excited about because for the first time we have a detachable net gun that the Predator can wield. Same copper color here. We have the copper going through the middle section and kind of gray ends to it. We do have a peg there at the bottom of it, which will peg right into his lower leg armor there. And I assume that's something we can expect to see with the Ultimate City Hunter. And then we also get a new sculpted hand, an alternate left hand for this Predator that will slide right into the net gun so your Predator can wield the weapon. I really like the design for the biomask on this Predator. It's really ornate looking. It's got the kind of mechanical looking pieces up here in the front that we've seen on a lot of Predators. It almost has like a checkerboard pattern at the top going between gray and copper, and then a ridge down the middle. And then we have these 2 big glow-in-the-dark horns on either side, which are really cool looking and slightly translucent. And the eyes on the mask are actually see-through. So when you have the glow-in-the-dark feature going on, you can actually see through the mask. Just like with the other Predators in this wave, the mask is removable and has really cool detail there on the inside of it, which is definitely appreciated. And the head sculpt for this Predator itself is really cool. We have the mostly shut mouth here, and the glow-in-the-dark plastic is seen throughout, but we have some brown kind of breaking up the sculpt here, some dry brushing over the ridges of his head, and then around his mouth. And he even has his own little horns underneath that kind of mimic the helmet that he had on. And then we have glow-in-the-dark dreads going down the back. They're pretty long dreads, at least for this style of Predator. I really like the design of the head on this figure. My biggest gripe isn't with the head itself, it's just that I wish this paint job would continue down to other parts of the Predator to kind of even out everything when the mask is off. The armor on this Predator is very cool. It's almost very steampunk looking in a weird way. It's all that copper color. There's some great washes in there to bring out all the dirt and grime. But we have this almost brass looking xenomorph head coming out of his chest. It's actually a little small compared to an actual NECA xenomorph, but very cool looking. We have all these kind of tubes and boxes there on his armor. Some more classic looking armor bits there around the side. And even up here around the neck, you can see he has some xenomorph tongues on each of his shoulders, giving it a very sinister look. Around the back, we have the holster for the spears that we talked about, and then what looks like a plasma caster. It's the basic med backpack thing, but there's no actual plasma caster that attaches to it, so it's just the backpack here. The armor goes down the back and stops just a little below the waist, and then we pick back up with this armor here, which is very cool looking, very almost samurai inspired. You have a chainmail kind of effect hanging down here in the back. We have heavy spikes on the hips and upper legs here, looking very cool, and then very intricate armor there over his crotch. I really like the shin guards here. We have human skulls there at the top, which are also a little small. I wonder if this is supposed to be ornamental detail or if this is just a huge Predator and we're seeing it at this scale for some weird reason. But we have some nice spikes coming off the sides there too. I haven't touched much on the body underneath. I mean, it's just glow-in-the-dark plastic. There's no painted details, and it's a very similar body to what we've seen many times before. We have that same spiky armor up here on his shoulders. And there's one big spike coming off the shoulder there on his left, and these kind of heavy gauntlets on either side. There's a claw here, and then little weapon-looking pieces, almost like guns there on the side. And that's the same for both wrist guards. There is kind of a problem here with the wrist peg, and I've seen this on other figures as well. The peg seems to stick out too far here on the right, so there is always a gap between the hand and the gauntlet. Out of the package, you get 2 gripping hands, though you can, of course, pop this hand off and replace it with the aforementioned net gun hand. And there's not so much of a gap here with the peg, so it just seems to be the one side. The feet are the sandaled feet, the jungle hunter style feet, though it's very hard to tell in this translucent glow-in-the-dark plastic. For articulation, we have a ball joint at the base of the neck. Not a ton of motion there, especially because he has the big plasma caster back there. You can also rotate side to side as well as tilt. Arms are on pin socket joints, so go forward, back, they will go out to the side. Rotate at the bicep, double joint there at the elbow, rotate at the gauntlet, ball joint at the wrist. We have the mid-torso and waist ball joint here on this figure, but because the armor comes down so far, you are pretty limited on your forward and backward and tilt motion, but you can rotate pretty easily. The legs will go forward, back, as well as out to the side. We could rotate at the upper leg, double jointed knee, and a ball joint there at the foot. So I'm going to shut the lights off here and see how well the glow effect shows up on camera. It shows up really well in real life, so if it looks crappy on camera, I apologize. Hopefully this is better than when I tried that glow-in-the-dark alien recently. And yeah, if my camera's picking it up, it does have a pretty nice glow to it. I really do like how well that turns out. And for some reason, it looks like my camera's starting to not pick up the glow-in-the-dark, but the head looks really cool with those brown markings on it, kind of giving it a mark out of a face. And it seems like even though the glow hasn't really dimmed in person, it's starting to not show up on my camera at all now. But if you put the biomask on, the horns glow, and you can actually see the glow through those transparent eyes, which is really neat. This figure was a huge surprise for me. I really wasn't expecting to enjoy any of these Kenner Predators as much as I have. And it's a toss-up between Spiked Tail and Stalker for which one's my favorite of the wave. I think it might go to Spiked Tail just by a hair, just because it's more unique than any other Predator we've gotten. But this thing has some really cool original armor that no other Predator has. I love the weird head sculpt on it and the biomask that mimics it. I love the preview of the net gun. It's just really hard to pick between those 2 entries in this line. They're both really cool figures for different reasons. So I'm going to give this figure a solid recommend. I really, really do enjoy it. So normally this is where Predator Week would end, but it just seems like NECA keeps hitting us with Predator figures lately. I just did that Alien and Predator Week for the 2 other Predator items that came out recently. And just after this wave hit shelves, 2 other deluxe Predators have come out. One fits right in with this theme. It's the Kenner Deluxe Clan Leader figure. And we also have the Predator based on the Concrete Jungle video game. I also have a short tutorial that will be coming out specific to fixing Predator leg joints, but you may be able to apply it to other figures as well. So really, Predator Week's only halfway through. Make sure you like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also check me out on Facebook, link below. And until next time, this has been our Outside the Box Reviews, and Predator Week continues next.